Hi everyone, hope all's going well. I want to spend a few minutes talking to you about Chapter 4, and it is called Swift Yet Meticulous Rapid Assessment of Your Supply Chain. How this all come about, as I mentioned earlier, avid scuba diver, and when I first started scuba diving, when I first got in the water and I saw a turtle, on one of my first dives I saw a turtle, a green moray eel, and a stingray. And I don't know if you ever heard of buoyancy, but that's how you float within the water column. Really good for buoyancy means you go along real smooth and you can adjust yourself by holding your breath and doing different things, go up and down and expelling air in your lungs very naturally. But when I first started diving, you would see something and you would drop like a rock or you'd float up to the surface and you're all over the place. And what happened is you could not really see the water or see the critters like you would want. And the next week after doing this, I got back to work and I noticed that we were bouncing all over the place in the facility chasing problems. I was chasing a problem in purchasing. I was chasing a problem in planning. I was chasing a problem out in the warehouse. And I had the same effect that I had as scuba diving. I had no control. I could not see what was going on. I was not optimizing my performance. And I realized the skills are essentially the same. And I had to get better, and I had to get the organization better at focusing and on their fundamentals. During the same period of time, I stumbled across an article from Harvard, in the Harvard Business Review. It's 2002, I think was when it was created. It's created by Eugene Goodson, and it's How to Read a Plant Fast. I grabbed a hold of this and I used this same article to create a rapid assessment for supply chain. And in the earlier videos, you saw the diagram of ART's 3F model of supply chain. And I used that to incorporate in a 10-point process to read your supply chain. The key element is it's not me reading it or one person. I get the entire staff to go out and look at it and review it together and plot it up on a radar chart. And when you plot it on a radar chart and you see, based on a 10-point scale for each one of the areas, you turn some heads and you get some reaction. And what I call, you get a visceral reaction to the results, because people might think they're actually better than they are, and it gives you a gut check. It kind of hits you here. In a real world example where I used this was, I was on staff in a facility, and our facility was working pretty good, and I was asked to go to another facility to take a look at how it was going. And as I walked out into the factory, I told everybody in the conference room, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go out and grade our facility of how we're performing. Had the plant manager, had the operations manager, had the materials manager, had the head of scheduling, had the head of the production line that was struggling the most. And the discussion was like hearing a bunch of 7-year-old kids in your house fighting over who did what or who was going to do what. I think at the end of the day, one of the last questions or one of the last comments I heard, well, if they could just get their schedules right, we would be able to produce what we need to produce. And another person yelled, if they could just have all the inventory available, we could do that. So by doing this assessment, what we did was we walked everybody through the facility at one time. It takes about, Eugene said do it in an hour. I really feel 2 hours is about right. Then you go back to the conference room and you grade yourself together, and there's no hiding behind it. And it's really worked out well. And what I really found is the visceral reaction. Everybody kind of got on the same page. It did not happen immediately. There was still the infighting, but after about 6 months and we started solving things, they started working together. So as you read through this, think about these things. Do you bounce from one problem to the next? And are there blind spots? And do you know where the real root causes are? And finally, as you go through this, think about, is there a benchmark where you feel you should be improving? And do you have a line drawn in the sand saying this is where we're at now and this is where we want to go? And is there a plan to get there? So hope you have fun reading the chapter. Thanks for listening to me, and look forward to talking to you about chapter 4. Thanks a lot and have a wonderful day.